Okay, hello, and happy Thursday. Let's get these sound checks done real quick, and I hope you're all having a wonderful Thursday. There he is. But is his sound there? Sure is. Awesome. Cool. Should we start out with one of them fun little oracle readings today? Heck yeah, we should. See what the saints have got for us. Just need to get here so I can monitor on this chat. Got it. Get our music playing. Awesome. So much love to everybody coming in. This is Jay Balvale, ready to bring you another installment of Swami Vivekananda's Bhakti Yoga. But first, let's do this. Boom. That's the one. Nice. Prayer to Archangel Gabriel. O blessed Archangel Gabriel, we beseech thee to intercede for us at the throne of divine mercy in our present necessities, that as you did announce to Mary the mystery of the Incarnation, so through your prayers and patronage in heaven we may obtain the benefits of the same and sing the praise of God forever. Amen. All right. That'll set us on our way. So a lot of these ones are going to be pretty short, so I think we will go ahead and knock out like at least five, maybe six of these chapters today. So we best get going. So let's see, we stopped off yesterday after learning about Om, the power of the Om. And then, yep, let's see, the chosen ideal, worship of substitutes and images. Swami V is giving it to us. Real good. Reminding us that unless you're worshiping that one true Ishvara, well, you're messing up. Welcome in, everybody, just coming in. Good to have you here. And we'll see today, I might have a little fix to help cut down on the sniffles. We'll see if it works or not. Dino Assassin, what's up? Welcome in. Good to have you. Okay, so Chapter 10, The Method and the Means. In regard to the method and the means of Bhakti Yoga, we read in the commentary of Bhagavan Ramanuja on the Vedanta Sutras, the attaining of that comes through discrimination, controlling the passions, practice, sacrificial work, purity, strength, and suppression of excessive joy. Viveka or discrimination is, according to Ramanuja, discriminating, among other things, the pure food from the impure. Dino Assassin says, I subscribe. Well, thank you very much for your subscription. I really hope you enjoy that subscription. I hope you find it well worth it. This book here is called Bhakti Yoga by Swami Vivekananda. It's a great read. According to him, food becomes impure from three causes. One, by the nature of the food itself, as is in the case of garlic, etc. Two, owing to its coming from wicked and accused persons. And three, from physical impurities such as dirt or hair, etc. The Shrutis say When the food is pure, the sattva element gets purified and the memory becomes unwavering. And Ramanuja quotes this from the Chandogya Upanishad. Welcome in, everybody, just coming in. Well, heck yeah, Dino Assassin. Well, you definitely made my day. I appreciate your subscription. Boy, so see, that's like what they say about when you're eating out and you just don't know who's cooking your food, what they're putting into it. I certainly find when I do my own food, there's definitely a whole different quality of energy to it. The question of food has always been one of the most vital with the Bhaktas. Apart from the extravagance into which some of the Bhakti sects have run, there is a great truth underlying this question of food. We must remember that, according to the Samkhya philosophy, the sattva, rajas, and tamas, which in the state of homogeneous equilibrium from the prakriti, and in the heterogeneous, disturbed condition, form the universe, are both the substance and the quality of prakriti. As such, they are the materials out of which every human form has been manufactured, and the predominance of the sattva material is what is absolutely necessary for spiritual development. The materials which we receive through our food into our body structure go a great way to determine our mental constitution. Therefore, the food we eat has to be particularly taken care of. However, in this matter, as in others, the fanaticism into which the disciples invariably fall is not to be laid at the door of the masters. And this discrimination of food is, after all, of secondary importance. The very same passage quoted above is explained by Shankara in his Bhashya on the Upanishads in a different way, by giving an entirely different meaning to the word ahara, translated generally as food. According to him, that which is gathered in is ahara. The knowledge of the sensations, such as sound, etc., is gathered in for the enjoyment of the enjoyer, self. The purification of the knowledge which gathers in the perception of the senses is the purifying of the food, ahara. The word purification of food means the acquiring of the knowledge of sensations untouched by the defects of attachment, aversion, and delusion. Such is the meaning. Zaya Jasmine Merced, welcome in, says Jesus is the only way. Well, I would agree with you, but I think I would agree with you for entirely different reasons than you might believe that to be true. And thank you for your like, Dino Assassin. Therefore, such knowledge or ahara being purified, the sattva material of the possessor of it, the internal organ, will become purified. And the sattva being purified, an unbroken memory of the infinite one who has been known in his real nature from scriptures will result. These two explanations are apparently conflicting, yet both are true and necessary. The manipulating and controlling of what may be called the finer body, viz., the mind, are no doubt higher functions than the controlling of the grosser body of flesh. But the control of the grosser body is absolutely necessary to enable one to arrive at the control of the finer. The beginner, therefore, must pay particular attention to all such dietetic rules as have come down from the line of his accredited teachers. But the extravagant, meaningless fanaticism which has driven religion entirely to the kitchen, as may be noticed in the case of many of our sects, without any hope of the noble truth of that religion ever coming out to the sunlight of spirituality, is a peculiar sort of pure and simple materialism. It is neither gyan, nor bhakti, nor karma. It is a special kind of lunacy, and those who pin their souls to it are more likely to go to lunatic asylums than to Brahmaloka. So it stands to reason that discrimination in the choice of food is necessary for the attainment of this higher state of mental composition, which cannot be easily obtained otherwise. Controlling the passions is the next thing to be attended to restrain the indriyas, organs, from going towards the objects of the senses, to control them and bring them under the guidance of the will, is the very central virtue in religious culture. Then comes the practice of self restraint and self denial. All the immense possibilities of divine realization in the soul cannot get actualized without struggle and without such practice on the part of the aspiring devotee. The mind must always think of the Lord. It is very hard at first to compel the mind to think of the Lord always, but with every new effort, the power to do so grows stronger in us. By practice, O son of Kunti, and by non attachment is it attained, says Sri Krishna in the Gita. And then, as to sacrificial work, it is understood that the five great sacrifices, Panchamahayagnas, have to be performed as usual. Dino Assassin asks, can I shout out his channel? Sure, shout out Dino Assassin's channel. I've never seen it before, but I'll go take a look when I'm finished with this. How's that for you? And hopefully anybody else who taps in here, maybe go check out Dino Assassin's channel. What do you like to do on your channel, Dino Assassin? Assassinate dinosaurs? Okie dokie. So purity is absolutely the basic work, the bedrock upon which the whole Bhakti building rests. Cleansing the external body and discriminating the food are both easy, but without internal cleanliness and purity, these external observances are of no value whatsoever. In the list, okay, so this footnote was it for up here where it's talking about the five great sacrifices to God, sages, mains, guests, and all creatures. In the list of the qualities conducive to purity, as given by Ramanuja, there are enumerated satya, truthfulness; arjava, sincerity; daya, doing good to others without any gain to oneself; ahimsa, not injuring others by thought, word, or deed; anabidya, not coveting others' goods, not thinking vain thoughts, and not brooding over injuries received from another. In this list, the one idea that deserves special notice is ahimsa, non injury to others. This duty of non injury is, so to speak, obligatory on us in relation to all beings. As with some, it does not simply mean the non injuring of human beings and mercilessness towards the lower animals, nor, as with some others, does it mean the protecting of cats and dogs and feeding of ants with sugar, with liberty to injure brother man in every horrible way. It is remarkable that almost every good idea in this world can be carried to a disgusting extreme. I'll say, a good practice carried to an extreme and worked in accordance with the letter of the law becomes a positive evil. The stinking monks of certain religious sects, who do not bathe lest the vermin on their bodies should be killed, never think of the discomfort and disease they bring to their fellow human beings. They do not, however, belong to the religion of the Vedas. Dino Assassin says, I post random posts about you and me if you know what I mean. I don't know what you mean, fam. The test of ahimsa is absence of jealousy. Any man may do a good deed or make a good gift on the spur of the moment or under the pressure of some superstition or priestcraft. But the real lover of mankind is he who is jealous of none. The so-called great men of the world may all be seen to become jealous of each other for a small name, for a little fame, and for a few bits of gold. So long as this jealousy exists in a heart, it is far away from the perfection of ahimsa. The cow does not eat meat, nor does the sheep. Are they great yogis, great non-injurers, ahimsakas? Any fool may abstain from eating this or that. Surely that gives him no more distinction than to herbivorous animals. The man who will mercilessly cheat widows and orphans and do the vilest deeds for money is worse than any brute, even if he lives entirely on grass. The man whose heart never cherishes even the thought of injury to anyone, who rejoices at the prosperity of even his greatest enemy, that man is the Bhakta. He is the yogi. He is the guru of all, even though he lives every day of his life on the flesh of swine. Therefore, we must always remember that external practices have value only as helps to develop internal purity. It is better to have internal purity alone when minute attention to external observances is not practicable. But woe unto the man and woe unto the nation that forgets the real internal spiritual essentials of religion and mechanically clutches with death like grasp at all external forms and never lets them go. The forms have value only so far as they are expressions of life within. If they have ceased to express life, crush them out without mercy. Let's see. Dino Assassin says, "Did you see how long left? Just curious." Oh man, I'm gonna probably go for a while. So no, I have not seen. Uh. After this, I'll go take a look. I'll go see what you mean. But let me tell you this: if you're promoting any kinds of harm, well, woe unto you. The next means to the attainment of bhakti yoga is strength, anavasada. This Atman is not to be attained by the weak, says the Shruti. Both physical weakness and mental weakness are meant here. The strong, the hardy, are the only fit students. What can puny, little, decrepit things do? They will break to pieces whenever the mysterious forces of the body and mind are even slightly awakened by the practice of any of the yogas. It is the young, the healthy, the strong that can score success. Physical strength, therefore, is absolutely necessary. It is the strong body alone that can bear the shock of reaction resulting from the attempt to control the organs. He who wants to become a bhakta must be strong, must be healthy. When the miserably weak attempt any of the yogas, they are likely to get some incurable malady or they weaken their minds. Voluntarily weakening the body is really no prescription for spiritual enlightenment. Let's see. Well, Dino wants to know how many pages. How many pages? At least 20. The mentally weak also cannot succeed in attaining the Atman. The person who aspires to be a bhakta must be cheerful. In the Western world, the idea of a religious man is that he never smiles, that a dark cloud must always hang over his face, which again must be long drawn with the jaws almost collapsed. People with emaciated bodies and long faces are fit subjects for the physician. They are not yogis. It is the cheerful mind that is persevering. It is the strong mind that hews its way through 1,000 difficulties. And this, the hardest task of all, the cutting of our way out of the net of Maya, is the work reserved only for giant wills. Yet at the same time, excessive mirth should be avoided. Anud darsha. Excessive mirth makes us unfit for serious thought. It also fritters away the energies of the mind in vain. The stronger the will, the less the yielding to the sway of the emotions. Excessive hilarity is quite as objectionable as too much of sad seriousness. And all religious realization is possible only when the mind is in a steady, peaceful condition of harmonious equilibrium. It is thus that one may begin to learn how to love the Lord. All right, six. So that does it for part one. And then part two is Parabhakti or supreme devotion. And that starts us off with chapter 11, the preparatory renunciation. All right, let's get it rocking. We have now finished the consideration of what may be called the preparatory bhakti. Oh, so that was all just the preparatory bhakti. Now we're on to para bhakti, so that's the great or the higher. Dino Assassin says, "Why do you have glove on?" Because it looks cool. Okay, so the preparatory bhakti, and are entering on the study of the para bhakti or supreme devotion. We have to speak of a preparation to the practice of this para bhakti. All such preparations are intended only for the purification of the soul. The repetition of names, the rituals, the forms, and the symbols, all these various things are for the purification of the soul. The greatest purifier among all such things, a purifier without which no one can enter the regions of this higher devotion, parabhakti, is renunciation. This frightens many, yet without it, there cannot be any spiritual growth. In all our yogas, this renunciation is necessary. This is the stepping stone and the real center and the real heart of all spiritual culture. Renunciation. This is religion. Renunciation. When the human soul draws back from the things of the world and tries to go into deeper things, when man, the spirit which has here somehow become concretized and materialized, understands that he is thereby going to be destroyed and to be reduced almost into mere matter, and turns his face away from matter, then begins renunciation. Then begins real spiritual growth. The Karma Yogi's renunciation is in the shape of giving up all the fruits of his action. He is not attached to the results of his labor. He does not care for any reward here or hereafter. The Raja Yogi knows that the whole of nature is intended for the soul to acquire experience, and that the result of all the experiences of the soul is for it to become aware of its eternal separateness from nature. The human soul has to understand and realize that it has been spirit and not matter through eternity, and that this conjunction of it with matter is and can only be for a time. The Raja Yogi learns the lesson of renunciation through his own experience of nature. The Gyan Yogi has the harshest of all renunciations to go through, as he has to realize from the very first that the whole of this solid looking nature is all an illusion. He has to understand that all that is any kind of manifestation of power in nature belongs to the soul and not to nature. He has to know from the very start that all knowledge and all experience are in the soul and not in nature. So, he has at once and by the sheer force of rational conviction to tear himself away from all bondage to nature. He lets nature and all that belongs to her go. He lets them vanish and tries to stand alone. Dino Assassin says, just want to say this: if you believe in yourself, you can do anything. Absolutely. Thank you for those motivational words. Of all renunciations, the most natural, so to say, is that of the Bhakti yogi. Here, there is no violence, nothing to give up, nothing to tear off, as it were, from ourselves, nothing from which we have violently to separate ourselves. The Bhakta's renunciation is easy, smooth flowing, and as natural as the things around us. We see the manifestation of this sort of renunciation, although more or less in the form of caricatures, every day around us. A man begins to love a woman. After a while, he loves another, and the first woman he lets go. She drops out of his mind smoothly, gently, without his feeling the want of her at all. A woman loves a man. She then begins to love another man, and the first one drops off from her mind quite naturally. A man loves his own city. Then he begins to love his country, and the intense love for his little city drops off smoothly, naturally. Again, a man learns to love the whole world. His love for his country, his intense fanatical patriotism drops off without hurting him, without any manifestation of violence. An uncultured man loves the pleasure of the senses intensely. As he becomes cultured, he begins to love intellectual pleasures, and his sense enjoyments become less and less. No man can enjoy a meal with the same gusto or pleasure as a dog or a wolf. But those pleasures which a man gets from intellectual experiences and achievements, the dog can never enjoy. At first, pleasure is in association with the lowest senses. But as soon as an animal reaches a higher plane of existence, the lower kind of pleasures become less intense. In human society, the nearer the man is to the animal, the stronger is his pleasure in the senses. And the higher and the more cultured a man is, the greater is his pleasure in intellectual and such other finer pursuits. So, when a man gets even higher than the plane of the intellect, higher than that of mere thought, when he gets to the plane of spirituality and of divine inspiration, he finds there is a state of bliss, compared with which all the pleasures of the senses or even of the intellect are as nothing. When the moon shines brightly, all the stars become dim, and when the sun shines, the moon herself becomes dim. The renunciation necessary for the attainment of bhakti is not obtained by killing anything, but just comes in as naturally as in the presence of an increasingly stronger light. The less intense ones become dimmer and dimmer until they vanish away completely. So, this love of the pleasures of the senses and of the intellect is all made dim and thrown aside and cast into the shade by the love of God Himself. The love of God grows and assumes a form which is called parabhakti, or supreme devotion. Forms vanish, rituals fly away, books are superseded, images, temples, churches, religions and sects, countries and nationalities. All these little limitations and bondages fall off by their own nature from him who knows this love of God. Nothing remains to bind him or fetter his freedom. A ship, all of a sudden, comes near a magnetic rock, and its iron bolts and bars are all attracted and drawn out, and the planks get loosened and freely float on the water. Divine grace thus loosens the binding bolts and bars of the soul, and it becomes free. So, in this renunciation auxiliary to devotion, there is no harshness, no dryness, no struggle, no repression, nor suppression. The Bhakta has not to suppress any single one of his emotions. He only strives to intensify them and direct them to God. All right, chapter 12. The Bhakta's renunciation results from love. We see love everywhere in nature. Whatever in society is good and great and sublime is the working out of that love. Whatever in society is very bad, nay, diabolical, is also the ill directed working out of the same emotion of love. It is this same emotion that gives us the pure and holy conjugal love between husband and wife, as well as the sort of love which goes to satisfy the lowest forms of animal passion. The emotion is the same, but its manifestation is different in different cases. It is the same feeling of love, well or ill directed, that impels one man to do good and to give all he has to the poor, while it makes another man cut the throats of his brethren and take away all their possessions. The former love, the former loves others as much as the latter loves himself. The direction of the love is bad in the case of the latter, but it is right and proper in the other case. The same fire that cooks a meal for us may burn a child, and it is no fault of the fire if it does so. The difference lies in the way in which it is used. Therefore, love the intense longing for association, the strong desire on the part of two to become one, and it may be, after all, of all, to become merged in one, is being manifested everywhere in higher or lower forms as the case may be. Bhakti yoga is the science of higher love. It shows us how to direct it. It shows us how to control it, how to manage it, how to use it, how to give it a new aim, as it were, and from it obtain the highest and most glorious results. That is, how to make it lead us to spiritual blessedness. Bhakti yoga does not say, give up. It only says, love the highest. And everything low naturally falls off from him, the object of whose love is the highest. I cannot tell anything about thee except that thou art my love. Thou art beautiful. Oh, thou art beautiful. Thou art beauty itself. What is, after all, really required of us in this yoga is that our thirst after the beautiful should be directed to God. What is the beauty in the human face, in the sky, in the stars, and in the moon? It is only the partial apprehension of the real, all embracing divine beauty. He, shining everything, shines. It is through his light that all things shine. Take this high position of bhakti, which makes you forget at once all your little personalities. Take yourself away from all the world's little selfish clingings. Do not look upon humanity as the center of all your human and highest interests. Stand as a witness, as a student, and observe the phenomena of nature. Have the feeling of personal non attachment with regard to man, and see how this mighty feeling of love is working itself out in the world. Sometimes a little friction is produced, but that is only in the course of the struggle to attain the higher real love. Sometimes there is a little fight or a little fall, but it is all only by the way. Stand aside and freely let these frictions come. You feel the frictions only when you are in the current of the world, but when you are outside of it simply as a witness and as a student, you will be able to see that there are millions and millions of channels in which God is manifesting himself as love. Wherever there is any bliss, even though in the most sensual of things, there is a spark of that eternal bliss, which is the Lord Himself. Even in the lowest kinds of attraction, there is the germ of divine love. One of the names of the Lord in Sanskrit is Hari, and this means that He attracts all things to Himself. His is, in fact, the only attraction worthy of human hearts. Who can attract a soul really? Only He. Do you think dead matter can truly attract the soul? It never did and never will. When you see a man going after a beautiful face, do you think that it is the handful of arranged material molecules which really attracts the man? Not at all. Behind those material particles, there must be and is the play of divine influence and divine love. The ignorant man does not know it, but yet, consciously or unconsciously, he is attracted by it and it alone. So even the lowest forms of attraction derive their power from God Himself. None, O beloved, is ever loved the husband for the husband's sake. It is the Atman, the Lord, who is within, for whose sake the husband is loved. Loving wives may know this, or they may not. It is true all the same. None, O beloved, ever loved the wife for the wife's sake, but it is the self in the wife that is loved. Let's see, here we got Matthew 10 and Psalm 62. We better double check what those ones are. I can't think of them off the top right now. And Dino Assassin says, I love this book. Me too. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Let's see, Matthew 10. Then we've got Psalm 62, right? Yep, sure enough. See, truly my soul finds rest in God. My salvation comes from Him. Truly He is my rock and my salvation. He is my fortress. I will never be shaken. How long will you assault me? Would all of you throw me down? This leaning wall, this tottering fence? Surely they intend to topple me from my lofty place. They take delight in lies. With their mouths they bless, but their hearts they curse. You know what? I should be looking in the King James because screw the NIV. I should just run in the other room and grab my Bible if I'm going to put this much work into it. So I will. Why not? I'm not in a rush. Be right back. Hey, what a beautiful cat. I prefer the way the King James Bible is worded, personally. All right, so Psalm 62 says, to the chief musician, to Jeduthun, a psalm of David. Truly my soul waiteth upon God. From him cometh my salvation. He only is my rock and my salvation. He is my defense. I shall not be greatly moved. How long will ye imagine mischief against a man? Ye shall be slain, all of you. As a bowing wall shall ye be, and as a tottering fence. They only consult to cast him down from his excellency. They delight in lies. They bless with their mouth, but they curse inwardly. Selah, my soul, wait thou only upon God, for my expectation is from him. He only is my rock and my salvation. He is my defense. I shall not be moved. In God is my salvation and my glory. The rock of my strength and my refuge is in God. Trust in him at all times, ye people. Pour out your heart before him. God is a refuge for us. Selah. Surely men of low degree are vanity, and men of high degree are a lie. To be laid in the balance, they are altogether lighter than vanity. Trust not in oppression, and become not vain in robbery. If riches increase, set not your heart upon them. God hath spoken once, twice have I heard this, that power belongeth unto God. Also unto thee, O Lord, belongeth mercy. For thou renderest to every man according to his work. Where is Matthew? There we are. Matthew 10. Oh man, that's long as heck. Oh well. Actually, it's not really that long. So Matthew 10 says, and when he called unto him his 12 disciples, he gave them power against unclean spirits to cast them out, and to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease. Now the names of the 12 apostles are these: the first, Simon, who is called Peter, and Andrew, his brother, James the son of Zebedee, and John his brother, Philip and Bartholomew, Thomas and Matthew, the publican, James the son of Alphaeus, and Lebbaeus, whose surname was Thaddeus, Simon the Canaanite, and Judas Iscariot, who also betrayed him. These 12 Jesus sent forth, and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And as ye go, preach, saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Heal the sick, cleanse the lepers, raise the dead, cast out devils. Freely ye have received, freely ye give. Provide neither gold, nor silver, nor brass in your purses, nor scrip for your journey, neither two coats, neither shoes, nor yet staves. For the workman is worthy of his meat. And into whatsoever city or town ye shall enter, inquire who in it is worthy, and there abide till ye go thence. And when ye come into an house, salute it. And if the house be worthy, let your peace come upon it. But if it be not worthy, let your peace return to you. And whosoever shall not receive you, nor hear your words when ye depart out of that house or city, shake off the dust of your feet. Verily I say unto you, it shall be more tolerable for the land of Sodom and Gomorrah in the day of judgment than for that city. Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. But beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the councils, and they will scourge you in their synagogues. And ye shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, and for a testimony against them and the Gentiles. But when they deliver you up, take no thought how or what ye shall speak, for it shall be given you in that same hour what ye shall speak. For it is not ye that speak, but the Spirit of your Father which speaketh in you. And the brother shall deliver up the brother to death, and the father the child, and the children shall rise up against their parents and cause them to be put to death. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endureth to the end shall be saved. But when they persecute you in this, flee ye to another. For verily I say unto you, ye shall not have gone over the cities of Israel till the Son of Man be come. The disciple is not above his master, nor the servant above his Lord. It is enough for the disciple that he be as his master, and the servant as his Lord, if they have called the master of the house Beelzebub. How much more shall they call him out of his household? Fear them not, therefore, for there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, and hid that shall not be known. What I tell you in darkness, that speak ye in light, and what ye hear in the ear, that preach ye upon the housetops. And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell. Are not two sparrows sold for a farthing? And one of them shall not fall on the ground without your Father. But the very hairs of your head are all numbered. Fear ye not, therefore. Ye are of more value than many sparrows. Whosoever therefore shall confess me before men, him will I confess also before my Father which is in heaven. But whosoever shall deny me before men, him will I also deny before my Father which is in heaven. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter in law against her mother in law. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me, and he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me. He that findeth his life shall lose it, and he that loseth his life for my sake shall find it. He that receiveth you receiveth me, and he that receiveth me receiveth him that sent me. He that receiveth a prophet in the name of a prophet shall receive a prophet's reward, and he that receiveth a righteous man in the name of a righteous man shall receive a righteous man's reward. And whosoever shall give to drink unto one of these little ones a cup of cold water only in the name of a disciple, verily I say unto you, he shall in no wise lose his reward. All right, little detour, but we're back. We're back now. Yeah, I'll say those both touch pretty firmly on what Swami V here is telling us about the level of bhakti needed in the Lord. So let's see, I finished right there at that one. Similarly, no one loves a child or anything else in the world except on account of him who is within. The Lord is the great magnet, and we are all like iron fillings. We are being constantly attracted by him, and all of us are struggling to reach him. All of this struggling of ours in this world is surely not intended for selfish ends. Fools do not know what they are doing. The work of their life is, after all, to approach the great magnet. All of the tremendous struggling and fighting in life is intended to make us go to him ultimately and be one with him. The bhakti yogi, however, knows the meaning of life's struggles. He understands it. He has passed through a long series of these struggles and knows what they mean, and earnestly desires to be free from the friction thereof. He wants to avoid the clash and go direct to the center of all attraction, the great Hari. This is the renunciation of the Bhakta. This mighty attraction in the direction of God makes all other attractions vanish for him. This mighty, infinite love of God which enters his heart leaves no place for any other love to live there. What was Jesus just saying, huh? How can it be otherwise? Bhakti fills his heart with the divine waters of the ocean of love, which is God himself. There is no other place there for little loves. That is to say, the Bhakta's renunciation is that vairagya, or non attachment for all things that are not God, which results from anuraga, or great attachment to God. This is the ideal preparation for the attainment of the supreme bhakti. When this renunciation comes, the gate opens for the soul to pass through and to reach the lofty regions of supreme devotion, or para-bhakti. Then it is that we begin to understand what para-bhakti is. And the man who has entered into the inner shrine of the para-bhakti alone has the right to say that all forms and symbols are useless to him as aids to religious realization. He alone has attained that supreme state of love commonly called the brotherhood of man. The rest only talk. He sees no distinctions. The mighty ocean of love has entered into him, and he sees not man in man, but beholds his beloved everywhere. Through every face shines to him his Hari. The light in the sun or the moon is all his manifestation. Whenever there is beauty or sublimity to him, it is all his. Such are bhaktas, such bhaktas are still living. The world is never without them. Such, though bitten by a serpent, only say that a messenger came to them from their beloved. Such men alone have the right to talk of universal brotherhood. They feel no resentment. Their minds never react in the form of hatred or jealousy. The external, the sensuous, has vanished from them forever. How can they be angry when, through their love, they are always able to see the reality behind the scenes? Okay, chapter 12. I think we were on chapter 12. Or are we on 13? Oh man, we better go count. We don't want to mislead the people. 13. We are on chapter 13. Nice. Take a drink. And Sunshine Chick, welcome in. Great to have you here. I hope your Thursday is going super amazing. All right, let's get to going. Chapter 13. The naturalness of Bhakti Yoga and its central secret. Those who with constant attention always worship you, and those who worship the undifferentiated, the absolute, of these who are the greatest yogis? Arjuna asked of Sri Krishna. The answer was, those who, concentrating their minds on me, worship me with eternal constancy, are endowed with the highest faith. They are my best worshippers. They are the greatest yogis. Excuse me. Those that worship the absolute, the indescribable, the undifferentiated, the omnipresent, the unthinkable, the all comprehending, the immovable, and the eternal, by controlling the play of their organs and having the conviction of sameness in regard to all things, they also, being engaged in doing good to all beings, come to me alone. But to those whose minds have been devoted to the unmanifested absolute, the difficulty of the struggle along the way is much greater. For it is indeed with great difficulty that the path of the unmanifested absolute is trodden by any embodied being. Those who, having offered up all their work unto me, with entire reliance on me, meditate on me, and worship me without any attachment to anything else, them I soon lift up from the ocean of ever recurring births and deaths, as their mind is wholly attached to me. Gyan Yoga and Bhakti Yoga are both referred to here. Both may be said to have been defined in the above passage. The Gyan Yoga is grand. It is high philosophy, and almost every human being thinks, curiously enough, that he can surely do everything required of him by philosophy. But it is really very difficult to live truly the life of philosophy. We are often apt to run into great dangers in trying to guide our life by philosophy. This world may be said to be divided between persons of demoniacal nature who think the caretaking of the body to be the be all and the end all of existence, and persons of godly nature who realize that the body is simply a means to an end, an instrument intended for the culture of the soul. The devil can and indeed does cite the scriptures for his own purpose, and thus the way of knowledge appears to offer justification to what the bad man does as much as it offers inducements to what the good man does. This is the great danger in Gyan Yoga. But Bhakti Yoga is natural, sweet, and gentle. The Bhakta does not take such high flights as the Gyan Yogi, and therefore he is not apt to have such big falls. Until the bondage of the soul pass away, until the bondages of the soul pass away, it cannot, of course, be free, whatever may be the nature of the path that the religious man takes. Here is a passage showing how, in the case of one of the blessed gopis, the soul binding chains of both merit and demerit were broken. The intense pleasure in meditating on God took away the binding effects of her good deeds. Then her intense misery of soul in not attaining unto him washed off all her sinful propensities, and then she became free. From the Vishnu Purana. In Bhakti Yoga, the central secret is, therefore, to know that the various passions and feelings and emotions in the human heart are not wrong in themselves. Only they have to be carefully controlled and given a higher and higher direction until they attain the very highest condition of excellence. The highest direction is that which takes us to God. Every other direction is lower. We find that pleasures and pains are very common and oft reoccurring feelings in our lives. When a man feels pain because he has not wealth or some such worldly thing, he is giving a wrong direction to the feeling. Still, pain has its uses. Let a man feel pain that he has not reached the highest, that he has not reached God, and that pain will be to his salvation. Yeah, buddy. When you become glad that you have a handful of coins, it is a wrong direction to give the faculty of joy. It should be given to a higher direction. It must be made to serve the highest ideal. Pleasure in that kind of ideal must surely be our highest joy. This same thing is true of all our other feelings. The Bhakta says that not one of them is wrong. He gets hold of them all and points them unfailingly towards God. Amen. All right, now it's chapter 14, the forms of love manifestation. Here are some of the forms in which love manifests itself. First, there is reverence. Why do people show reverence to temples and holy places? Because he is worshipped there, and his presence is associated with all such places. Why do people in every country pay reverence to teachers of religion? It is natural for the human heart to do so, because all such teachers preach the Lord. At bottom, reverence is a growth out of love. We can none of us revere him who do not love. Then comes priti, pleasure in God. What an immense pleasure men take in the objects of the senses. They go anywhere, run through any danger to get the thing which they love, the thing which their senses like. What is wanted of the bhakta is this very kind of intense love which has, however, to be directed to God. Then there is the sweetest of pains, viraha, the intense misery due to the absence of the beloved. When a man feels intense misery because he has not attained to God, he has not known that which is the only thing worthy to be known, and becomes in consequence very dissatisfied and almost mad. And that's like what Lon Milo Duquette will say about the holy guardian angel, that you need to fall hopelessly, madly in love to achieve that full knowledge and conversation. Then there is viraha, and this state of mind makes him feel disturbed in the presence of anything other than the beloved. Ikara to chikitsa, in earthly love, we see how often this viraha comes. Again, when men are really and intensely in love with women or women with men, they feel a kind of natural annoyance in the presence of all those whom they do not love. Exactly. The same state of impatience in regard to things that are not love comes to the mind when parabhakti holds sway over it. Even to talk about things other than God becomes distasteful then. Think of him, think of him alone, and give up all other vain words. Those who talk of him alone, the Bhakta finds to be friendly to him, while those who talk of anything else appear to him to be unfriendly. A still higher stage of love is reached when life itself is maintained for the sake of the one ideal of love, when life itself is considered beautiful and worth living only on account of that love. Without it, such a life would not remain even for a moment. Life is sweet because it thinks of the beloved. Ta- Tatid Tadiyata, hisness, comes when a man becomes perfect according to bhakti. When he has become blessed, when he has attained God, when he has touched the feet of God, as it were, then his whole nature is purified and completely unchanged. All his purpose in life then becomes fulfilled. Yet many such bhaktas live on just to worship him. That is the bliss, the only pleasure in life, which they will not give up. O king, such is the blessed quality of Hari that even those who have become satisfied with everything, all the knots of whose hearts have been cut asunder, even they love the Lord for the love's sake. The Lord, whom all the gods worship, all the lovers of liberation, and all the knowers of the Brahman. Such is the power of love. When a man has forgotten himself altogether and does not feel that anything belongs to him, then he acquires the state of Tadiyata. Everything is sacred to him because it belongs to the beloved. Even in regard to earthly love, the lover thinks that everything belonging to his beloved is sacred and so dear to him. He loves even a piece of cloth belonging to the darling of his heart. In the same way, when a person loves the Lord, the whole universe becomes dear to him because it is all his. Yep, absolutely. Right, and that brings us to chapter 15. So we'll probably do that one. And then I think we'll call that it for today's session, which should leave us with just enough to finish up in one more session after that. So, chapter 15, Universal Love and How It Leads to Self Surrender. How can we love the Vyashti, the particular, without first loving the Samashti, the universal? God is the Samashti, the generalized and the abstracted universal whole. And the universe that we see is the Vyashti, the particularized thing. To love the whole universe is possible only by way of loving the Samashti, the universal, which, as it were, the one unity in which are to be found millions and millions of smaller unities. The philosophers of India do not stop at the particulars. They cast a hurried glance at the particulars and immediately start to find the generalized forms which will include all the particulars. The search after the universal is the one search of Indian philosophy and religion. The Jnani aims at the wholeness of things, at that one absolute and generalized being, knowing which he knows everything. The Bhakta wishes to realize that one generalized abstract person, in loving whom he loves the whole universe. The yogi wishes to have possession of that one generalized form of power, by controlling which he controls this whole universe. The Indian mind, throughout its history, has been directed to this kind of singular search after the universal in everything. In science, in psychology, in love, in philosophy. So the conclusion to which the Bhakta comes is that if you go on merely loving one person after another, you may go on loving them so for an infinite length of time, without being in the least able to love the world as a whole. When at last the central idea is, however, arrived at, that the sum total of all love is God, that the sum total of the aspirations of all the souls in the universe, whether they be free or bound or struggling towards liberation, is God. Then alone it becomes possible for anyone to put forth universal love. God is the Samashti, and this visible universe is God differentiated and made manifest. If we love the sum total, we love everything. Loving the world and doing it good will all come easily then. We have to obtain this power only by loving God first. Otherwise, it is no joke to do good to the world. Everything is His, and He is my lover. I love Him, says the Bhakta. In this way, everything becomes sacred to the Bhakta, because all things are His. All His children, His body, His manifestation. How then may we hurt anyone? How then may we not love anyone? With the love of God will come, as a sure effect, the love of everyone in the universe. The nearer we approach God, the more do we begin to see that all things are in him. When the soul succeeds in appropriating the bliss of this supreme love, it also begins to see him in everything. Our heart will thus become an eternal fountain of love. And when we reach even higher states of this love, all the little differences between the things of the world are entirely lost. Man is seen no more as man, but only as God. The animal is seen no more as animal, but as God. Even the tiger is no more a tiger, but a manifestation of God. Thus, in this intense state of bhakti, worship is offered to everyone, to every life, and to every being. Knowing that Hari, the Lord, is in every being, the wise have thus to manifest unswerving love towards all beings. As a result of this kind of intense, all absorbing love comes the feeling of perfect self surrender, the conviction that nothing that happens is against us. Apritikulia. Then the loving soul is able to say, if pain comes, welcome pain. If misery comes, it will say, welcome misery. You are also from the beloved. If a serpent comes, it will say, welcome serpent. If death comes, such a bhakta will welcome it with a smile, right? It's a good day to die. Say that to yourself every day. Today is a great day to die. Blessed am I that they all come to me. They are all welcome. The bhakta in this state of perfect resignation, arising out of intense love to God and to all that are his, ceases to distinguish between pleasure and pain, insofar as they affect him. Right, so that doesn't mean you're not going to still feel pleasure or pain, but it's about how it affects you. He does not know what it is to complain or of pain or misery. And this kind of uncomplaining resignation to the will of God, who is all love, is indeed a worthier acquisition than all the glory of grand and heroic performances. Yeah, one way I've even been practicing that is with this rubber band thing for this Libra 3 exercise, is that sting, that snap of the rubber band. Well, it doesn't feel good, but pretty quickly I caught myself where I'd be saying, something like that, and I reeled it in real quick. I said, I'm gonna start snapping myself even if I complain about the pain. So try that with your Libra 3 rubber band snaps, or if you're doing the razor blade method, then that'll be an extra challenge because it don't feel good to get cut with the razor blade, that's for sure. To the vast majority of mankind, the body is everything. The body is all the universe to them. Bodily enjoyment is their all in all. This demon of worship of the body and of the things of the body has entered into us all. We may indulge in tall talk and take very high flights, but we are like vultures all the same. Our mind is directed to the piece of carrion down below. Why should our body be saved, say, from the tiger? Why may we not give it over to the tiger? The tiger will thereby be pleased, and that is not altogether so very far from self sacrifice and worship. Oh crap, did you need me to get you the dryer, or you already got it figured out? All right. Can you reach the realization of such an idea in which all sense of self is completely lost? It is a very dizzy height on the pinnacle of religion of love, and few in this world have ever climbed up to it. But until a man reaches that highest point of ever ready and ever willing self sacrifice, he cannot become a perfect bhakta. We may all manage to maintain our bodies more or less satisfactorily and for longer or shorter intervals of time. Nevertheless, our bodies have to go. There is no permanence about them. Blessed are they whose bodies get destroyed in the service of others. Wealth and even life itself, the sage always holds ready for the service of others. In this world, there being one thing certain, viz., death, it is far better that this body dies in a good cause than a bad one. I don't know why I didn't highlight that. We may drag our life on for 50 years or 100 years, but after that, what is it that happens? Everything that is the result of combination must get dissolved and die. There must and will come a time for it to be decomposed. Jesus and Buddha and Muhammad are all dead. All the great prophets and teachers of the world are dead. In this evanescent world where everything is falling to pieces, we have to make the highest use of what time we have, says the Bhakta. And really, the highest use of life is to hold it at the service of all beings. The highest use of life is to hold it at the service of all beings. It is the horrible body idea that breeds the selfishness in the world. Just this one delusion that we are wholly the body we own and that we must, by all possible means, try our very best to preserve and to please it. If you know that you are positively other than your body, you have then none to fight with or struggle against. You are dead to all ideas of selfishness. So, the Bhakta declares that we have to hold ourselves as if we are altogether dead to all the things of the world, and that is indeed self surrender. Let things come as they may. Hey, page 88. This meaning of, this is the meaning of, thy will be done. Not going about fighting and struggling and thinking all the while that God wills all our own weaknesses and worldly ambitions. It may be that good comes even out of our selfish struggles. That is, however, God's lookout. The perfected Bhakta's idea must be never to will and work for himself. Lord, they build high temples in your name. They make large gifts in your name. I am poor. I have nothing. So I take this body of mine and place it at your feet. Do not give me up, O Lord. Such is the prayer proceeding out of the depths of the Bhakta's heart. To him who has experienced it, this eternal sacrifice of the self unto the beloved Lord is higher by far than all wealth and power, than even all soaring thoughts of renown and enjoyment. The peace of the Bhakta's calm resignation is a peace that passeth all understanding and is of incomparable value. His apariticulia is a state of the mind in which it has no interests, and naturally knows nothing that is opposed to it. In this state of sublime resignation, everything in the shape of attachment goes away completely, except that one all absorbing love to him in whom all things live and move and have their being. This attachment of love to God is indeed one that does not bind the soul, but effectively breaks all its bondages. Sick. This book's so good. I love this book. And hope you all are as well. That's going to do it for today. Pretty solid session. What, about an hour and 20 minutes? Yeah, that's not bad. We can definitely finish this up in the next session. There's only about 20 more pages left, a little over. So, for those who were here today, mainly our newcomer, Dino Assassin, I'm going to check out your channel as soon as I end this stream. I appreciate you stopping by. Sunshine Chick, always great to see you. I wish you a pleasant rest of your Thursday. And to everybody else who was here, popped in momentarily, coming back on the replay, so much love to you. Well, I think that's going to do it. This has been Jay Dalvale and Swami Vivekananda bringing you some Bhakti Yoga. Much love. For any other newcomers, be sure to hit a like, share, and subscribe. And we'll catch you on the next stream. Bye-bye.